Hey everybody, it's Gabby, and I'm back really quickly with a quick, pathetic October wrap-up.
I only have two of the books with me today because the other one belongs to my older brother, which is The Walking Dead Volume 26, I think it was. So I'll start off with that one. All of them, by the way, were read for the purpose of Spookathon, and obviously that was like all the reading that I did over October, which I don't even know why. So The Walking Dead Volume 26 was so much better than The Walking Dead 25 because so much more happened. I mean, Negan comes back in full blast. He betrays so many different people, and then there's one ultimate shocker at the end, and you're left and you're just like, oh my goodness. So after that one finished, I officially was just like, you know what? Obviously, Volume 25 was a quick filler because Robert Kirkman can't hit you with like, boom, boom, boom. Here's a bunch of amazing volumes that have constant, like, intense moments. I mean, obviously they can't even do that on the show. So definitely well worth it to read 25 and then go to 26. Definitely, I would maybe even read them the same day so that you're not like completely blown that 25 was just a filler. The Silent Wife by A.S.A. Harrison. I did talk a little bit about this on the Spookathon wrap-up. I definitely wasn't a fan of this. I tried so hard to get into it, and I honestly I was bored. Like, not a whole lot went on. The wife, Jody, she's very irritating because she knows that her husband is cheating on her. Well, he's not even her husband. It's common law marriage, whatever. But she finds out that her husband Todd is having an affair with his best friend Dean's daughter, Natasha. Well, Natasha ends up getting pregnant, and she basically tells Todd, that she is requiring him to basically leave his wife, Jody. So he decides that he's in love with Natasha and he needs to be with her. So he leaves Jody high and dry, and throughout the process of this whole thing, he starts kind of falling under Natasha's commands and demands, and she starts saying, like, that house that your ex is living in, it shouldn't just be hers. Like, we need a place for our baby. Well, so he goes to a lawyer, and because of this common law marriage, it's not really recognized in their state, so the lawyer starts to go through the eviction process. Well, Jody's not having it, so she invites Todd over for dinner, and she thinks that she's won him back, but then obviously it doesn't work out that way. So then she just starts setting things in motion. So the ending kind of hooked me, which is why I gave it a better rating than it would have received had the ending not happened. I don't want to spoil anything else, but I mean, if you're all about that adultery life in books, then go for it. Flame by Amy Kathleen Ryan. Again, I did talk about this in my Spookathon wrap-up. This one was pretty good. It was the conclusion of the Sky Chasers trilogy, and it ends on a really solid, happy note. Like, I loved the first two, and I don't want to talk too much about this one because it's that conclusion, I would give away so much of what happens in the first two. So definitely check out, I think it's Glow, and I don't remember what the second one is, or the first one. So it's just really good. It follows a group that is on a mission to go to a new Earth because the current Earth is not livable anymore, and all throughout the mission, the one ship, New Horizon, they lose the ability to have fertility, and they start blaming it on the Empyrean, which eventually the Empyrean is kind of attacked by the New Horizon, and then things happen, and then there's like they start stealing some of the girls' eggs, and it's for being a young adult, it's very mature on that sense, but it was definitely a good read, and the fact that I was able to find it on book outlet was pretty awesome to me. So that's my pathetic October wrap up. So I'm determined now to do a little bit better for November. I am not going to set myself up for failure because I think last month I had all of these like ambitions to finish so much, and I didn't get to it. So far I have read one, and I mean, considering that it is already the 15th, that's a good thing that I've read one. But it was Deadly Fate by Heather Graham, and this one just follows a woman named Clara Avery, who is part of she goes on to cruise ships and she performs, so she's an actress, and she's part of it's called like the Fate or whatever, and Vacation USA. So she ends up being on a reality show called Gotcha, where they pretend that's either, like, they kind of have like drastic measures. So this specific time, they set up a fake murder. Well, Clara thinks it's real, and then she stumbles across a real body, and then the FBI get involved, and the crew of hunters, which are the paranormal FBI crew, they get involved because the person that they suspect is the murderer or the serial killer is an escaped serial killer. So then in comes Thor Eriksson, who is this Norse man who everybody just thinks is amazing, and Clara butts heads with him at first, but then eventually, you know, Heather Graham style, they kind of fall in love and things happen and there's twists and turns. I think I gave this one either a 3 or a 4 on Goodreads, but this one was my first one. I'm finished with this one. The next one that I've been reading is the Too Good to Be True, the Colossal Book of Urban Legends by Jan Harold Brondband, and I'm not halfway there, but I just started it recently, so I'm making good progress on it. However, it's not what I expected it to be. You know, usually with the urban legend books, you kind of just get the legend and then you move on. Well, this one, it's written in I wouldn't say it's an annoying pattern, but like there's some points in it where I just want to say, like, I get it. You wrote another book about urban legends. That's great. Stop referencing to that one. I would much rather this be a colossal book of urban legends without the whole, like, you know, the first time I heard this story was, and this is a crock, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not written where it's just the urban legend. Like, it goes with the urban legend, and then there's a part where it might even say, you know, I first heard this when I was a little girl. Somebody wrote to me this. And then after the urban legend, it gives a breakdown of the history of the urban legend, which that part is pretty interesting. But it almost gets redundant after a while because we get that all of these are urban legends. Like, none of them are true. But, like, I don't know. So I've been kind of skimming some of the parts. Like, the history of the urban legend, I haven't been too big on reading, but the urban legends themselves, like the ones that I have never heard, are definitely interesting, and then the ones that I have heard, some of them have a different spin to them in this one even. So I'm almost done with, well, I say I'm almost done with it, but I'll probably finish this one before the weekend is over. I mean, hopefully. So that'll be 2 before, maybe I'll even finish it by tomorrow. So then the next one that I'm going to hopefully read is Survive the Night by Danielle Vega. And I just got this one recently, but it follows a underground party. And anyways, there's a big rave, so it's loud, it's noisy, and a girl stumbles across a dead body. Well, when she starts screaming, nobody can hear her, and then she's dragged off. So then it apparently jumps to another group of teens who are at the same rave, and they get separated, and then they realize that the rave isn't all that it's cracked up to be, and they have to try to escape, but they don't really know where they are, and it gets dark, and it's loud, and so it's a crazy town, and it is a young adult, and just kind of like skimming through it, it looks like it would be a pretty quick read, so this one will hopefully be finished by November. And then the last one that I'm going to attempt to read is The Christmas Wedding by James Patterson and Rachel DeLallo. And this basically just follows a woman named Gabby, and her family has kind of been depressed since the death of her late husband. So to get them more in the Christmas spirit, she tells them that she's going to have a wedding on Christmas, but they're not going to meet the husband to be until the day of the wedding. So it just kind of like, bringing back the magic of Christmas. And then, of course, there's apparently twists and turns like a James Patterson thriller. So this is the other one. There's another one that I could potentially read, which is Christmas Bliss by Mary Kay Andrews, but I don't know if I will get to this one. And if I don't, this will just go on to my December TBR. Around this time, if you're not catching it, I do start reading a lot of Christmassy books, which is why I bought a lot of them recently. So that is my quick little wrap up and TBR, and that's it. Okay, bye.